This is Talking My Walking. I am Rodrigo Ribeiro, just another voice in the wilderness. I want to talk about how our individualistic way of framing everything distorts how we perceive everything, and even how we perceive the nature of our very condition. This is a very difficult topic because it's very divisive, because most of us believe in our autonomy, our independence, the free will to pick and choose, to decide, as if we live in the absence of manufactured socio-economic and socio-cultural and political system, and we how deeply conditioned we are by that very system. And that very system consists in many layers, but all of them are um, are um, uh, uh, um, rotate around that perception, that individualistic perception of the human being, the perception of self-interest, the this idea of that we are very competitive beings, our capabilities for evil, which, I mean, are we not competitive? Yes, we are. Can we not commit evil acts? Yes, we do. But is that only a question of free choice? Is evil inherent to our nature, that we are destined to be evil no matter what? No. But for as long as we don't understand the layers that compose our reality, and along with that, the nature of the human condition, the socio-cultural nature of the human condition, we do not understand that we do not understand how the environment, how the experience, how we can be conditioned, how the circumstances of life, of a life experience, and how an environment can create demons or gods. How a sociocultural environment, of course, sociocultural and political environment, together with a socioeconomic system, can make us, can dehumanize us, or can humanize us. Dehumanization is the process by which we lose our most important social features. the features of the species itself, which is empathy, compassion, the ability to cooperate and to reciprocate, to feel the pain of other and act accordingly. This is what we did for most of our existence as a so-called Homo sapiens. So, tribalization is, in my opinion, there are many things, very important things, but that individualization, tribalization, indoctrination, instrumentalization, and the weaponization of concepts, ideas, and values and principles. We confuse individualism, the practice of individualism, with our ability as a species to think, to exist as a conscious individuality, which means that we are able to think, feel, and behave in ways that we do understand the consequences of that for ourselves, but also in others. And if we do not connect this is one thing, individualism is another. Individualism is about a socio-cultural and economic and socioeconomic political system that conditions us to behave in a certain way, according to certain paradigms and patterns, in order to be able to survive. We are supposed to become selfish. We are not supposed, we need to. Because it's how we are able to survive. Because we are competing with each other. For a job. For a successful career. And then, it doesn't matter what we do. We can lie, we can cheat, we can engage in many things because the individualistic pursuit of self-interest leads us into a dehumanizing path, a path disconnected with the web of life, where we, as a species, belong. And once we are disconnected to the web of life, and when culture is against nature, instead of being culture in the web of nature, we build a culture that is both against life and against nature, and also against the very condition of the human beings. And then we come up with ideas, with justifications, to justify our individualistic behavior, which is manufactured, most part of it, and we build intellectual, we frame it in intellectual frames as if the problem is biological,